The morning sun, still climbing over the eastern horizon, bathed the airbase in a soft, golden light. Birds chirped a peaceful tune, a gentle breeze rustled through the tall grass lining the perimeter fence. It was a picture of tranquility, the kind of serene morning that whispered promises of a quiet day. And then the siren hit. It ripped through the peaceful silence like a predator's shriek. The airbase, a moment ago a tranquil haven, transformed into a whirlwind of activity. Personnel sprinted to their designated positions, their movements honed by countless drills into a well-oiled machine. Jeeps roared to life, their tires spitting gravel as they raced across the tarmac. The peaceful morning had been shattered, replaced by the harsh reality of a sudden alert. High above, the sky, moments ago a canvas of undisturbed blue, now throbbed with the ominous beat of helicopter blades. The air crackled with the electric tension of the unknown. Somewhere, out there beyond the familiar horizon, a situation demanded their immediate attention. Inside the ready room, Lieutenant Emily Carter felt the familiar surge of adrenaline course through her veins. The siren's wail was her call to action, a stark reminder of the oath she had sworn to uphold. The carefree chatter of a moment ago ceased, replaced by a focused silence as her fellow pilots absorbed the fragmented information coming across their headsets. Emily, her long dark hair pulled back in a tight braid, didn't need to be told twice. She sprung to her feet, her movements crisp and efficient, her mind already racing through pre-flight checklists. Her heart pounded a relentless rhythm against her ribs, a drumbeat of anticipation and a hint of apprehension. Her boots pounded against the concrete floor as she sprinted across the tarmac, the urgency of her mission lending speed to her steps. The air thrummed with the anticipatory roar of jet engines coming to life. Above, the sky, now a canvas of hurried streaks, reflected the urgency of the situation. Lives might hang in the balance, and Emily Carter was not one to be found wanting. The F-16, a sleek and deadly bird of prey, awaited her arrival. Its metallic skin gleamed under the rapidly brightening sky, a silent promise of power and speed. Emily Carter, her heart still hammering in her chest, approached it with the reverence of a warrior approaching a trusted steed. This was her domain, the cockpit her sanctuary. She strapped herself in, the familiar weight of the harness a comforting embrace. Each click of the buckles, each whir of the instruments, each hiss of oxygen filling the mask, brought her one step closer to the heart of the unknown. She ran through her pre-flight routine, her movements swift and methodical, her focus laser-sharp despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Emily adjusted her helmet, the visor reflecting the image of a woman who was both warrior and guardian. Her breathing steadied, each inhale a measure of control, each exhale a release of tension. She was ready. The tiger was caged, its muscles tensed, its claws extended, waiting for the moment of release. The crew chief, a grizzled veteran with eyes that had seen too much and yet still held a spark of hope, gave her a thumbs up. It was a silent exchange, a bond of trust forged in the crucible of countless training exercises. Emily returned the gesture, a silent acknowledgement of the vital role he played in this intricate dance of life and death. "Good hunting, Lieutenant," he shouted over the roar of the engines, his voice a reassuring presence amidst the cacophony of the flight line. He knew, as she did, that this was more than just a routine scramble. This was different. This had the chilling edge of the unknown. Emily gave him a nod, a silent promise to bring herself and her wingman back in one piece. The canopy closed with a solid thunk, sealing her into the cockpit, into her own private world of dials, gauges, and the ever-present hum of technology pushed to its limits. She was alone, and yet she was never truly alone. The lives of countless others depended on her skill, her courage, and her unwavering commitment to duty. Section 5. Guardian Ascending. The F-16 shuddered, its powerful engine roaring to life like a dragon awakened from a deep slumber. The tarmac vibrated beneath them, a tremor that resonated in Emily's chest. With a surge of power that pressed her back against her seat, they were airborne, streaking down the runway and into the rapidly brightening sky. Below, the airbase shrunk, transforming from a hive of activity into a miniature model. Emily pulled back on the stick, feeling the satisfying tug of gravity as the F-16 climbed sharply, piercing the sky with the grace of a hawk. The sun, now a blazing orb, painted the clouds with hues of gold and crimson, a breathtaking backdrop to a mission shrouded in uncertainty. The weight of the mission settled on Emily's shoulders, a tangible reminder of the responsibility she carried. Lives were at stake, perhaps even the fate of nations hanging precariously in the balance. But Emily Carter was a warrior, forged in the fires of rigorous training and unwavering dedication. She would face this challenge head-on, her courage fueled by duty, her resolve strengthened by the knowledge that she was a guardian of the skies. Section 6. Unidentified contact. Bogey sighted, bearing 095, crackled the voice of her wingman, a reassuring presence in the otherwise sterile environment of the cockpit. Emily's eyes scanned the skies, her gloved hand adjusting the controls with practiced ease. She spotted it then, a blip on her radar, a shadow against the azure canvas of the sky. It was a civilian aircraft, a sleek, twin-engine jet, its silhouette unmistakable. But something was wrong. It wasn't following any established flight path, its movements erratic, almost desperate. Emily tried to establish contact, her voice calm and steady despite the knot of apprehension tightening in her stomach. Unidentified aircraft, this is Guardian 1. Please respond. Silence. Only the static hiss of the radio filled the tense silence of the cockpit. The civilian aircraft continued its haphazard flight path, like a wounded bird struggling to stay aloft. Emily tried again, her voice firm yet compassionate. Unidentified aircraft, this is Guardian 1. We are here to help, please respond. But the only answer was the deafening silence of the void. Section 7. A steady hand. The tension in the cockpit was palpable, a suffocating presence that pressed against Emily's chest. Her mind raced, analyzing the situation, weighing her options. She couldn't just fire on an unarmed civilian aircraft, but she also couldn't ignore the potential threat it posed, its erratic movements sending chills down her spine. Lives were at stake, both in the air and on the ground. Guardian 1 to base, Emily said, her voice betraying no hint of the turmoil raging within her. I have a visual on the bogey. It appears to be a civilian aircraft, unresponsive to radio contact, requesting further instructions. While she waited for a response, Emily maneuvered her F-16 closer to the distressed aircraft, her movements cautious yet deliberate. Emily kept her voice calm, steady, a beacon of reassurance in the midst of growing uncertainty. She flew alongside the distressed aircraft, her eyes constantly scanning its every move, her hand hovering over the controls, ready to react in an instant. Every fiber of her being was on high alert, her senses sharpened by the knowledge that one wrong move could have catastrophic consequences. Section 8. The watch continues. The mission, however, wasn't over. Emily continued to escort the civilian aircraft, her F-16 a silent guardian angel shepherding a lost sheep through treacherous skies. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on her shoulders, but she bore it with the stoicism of a seasoned warrior. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the clouds with fiery hues of orange and purple, a breathtaking spectacle that belied the tension gripping the cockpit. As the stars began to pepper the darkening sky, Emily finally received clearance to hand over the escort to another squadron. Relief washed over her, but it was a fleeting emotion. The adrenaline slowly drained away, leaving in its wake a bone-deep weariness. But beneath the fatigue, there was also a profound sense of pride. She had done her duty. She had protected the innocent. She had lived up to the oath she had sworn to uphold. Emily landed back at the airbase, the roar of her engine replaced by the comforting hum of the ground crew. As she climbed out of the cockpit, her legs shaky beneath her, she realized that the battle might be over for now, but the war was far from won. The skies were vast, the threats many, and Emily Carter would be there, a silent guardian, always vigilant, always ready to answer the call. The watch continued.